Have you ever wondered about a place that belongs to no one and everyone all at once? Let's take a journey to a place where boundaries blur and nationality is as fleeting as the changing seasons. Nestled between France and Spain, in the heart of the Bidassoa River, lies an enigma: Pheasant Island. This little piece of land, no larger than 6 football fields, holds a peculiar distinction. It's a condominium, not in the way you might think, but in terms of sovereignty. For 350 years, this island has been passed back and forth between France and Spain, like a cherished heirloom. But here's the twist. It doesn't really belong to either of them. It's an island without a home, a place that exists in the gray area of international diplomacy. So buckle up, history buffs, because we're about to dive into the fascinating story of this diplomatic oddity. Welcome to Pheasant Island, the island that changes nationality every 6 months. Our journey begins in the 12th century. Picture a period far removed from our own, a time when kingdoms were the rule of the land and borders were fluid, much like the waters surrounding Pheasant Island. Nestled in the Bidassoa River, this tiny landmass was born from sedimentation, a geological process as old as the Earth itself. The river's flow carried bits of earth and rock, depositing them over centuries, gradually giving rise to what we now know as Pheasant Island. But from its inception, Pheasant Island was a bone of contention between two powerful neighbors, France and Spain. The island's location, right on the river marking the border between the two, made it a strategic point of interest, a pawn in a much larger game. The island was too small to be of any real value, yet too significant to be ignored. The early conflicts over Pheasant Island were much like the skirmishes of the time, intense but short-lived. Yet these confrontations were just the beginning of a long and complex narrative. The island was claimed and reclaimed as France and Spain engaged in a tug-of-war, each asserting their sovereignty over this tiny piece of land. As the island changed hands, it became a silent witness to the political upheavals of the time. Yet, amidst this discord, there were also attempts at negotiation. Diplomats from both sides engaged in talks, trying to reach a consensus. These negotiations were as much a part of the island's history as the conflicts. They were a testament to the desire for peace and understanding, even in the face of territorial disputes. The island's story is a microcosm of the wider European history of the time. It reflects the shifting power dynamics, the struggles for control, and the attempts at diplomacy that characterized the era. Through the centuries, Pheasant Island has remained an emblem of these dualities. The island became a symbol of both division and unity, a peculiar paradox that continues to this day. As we delve deeper into the history of Pheasant Island, we'll uncover more about this fascinating paradox and how it has shaped the island's identity. The year is 1659, the world is changing, and so too is Pheasant Island. At the heart of this transformation is the Treaty of the Pyrenees. This pivotal agreement, inked between the crowns of France and Spain, ended the Franco-Spanish War, a conflict that had raged on for nearly a quarter century. But for our little island, this treaty had even more significant implications. You see, the Treaty of the Pyrenees did more than just end a war. It redrew the borders, and right in the middle of these new boundaries was Pheasant Island. The treaty declared the island a condominium. Now this doesn't mean they built a high-rise apartment complex on the island. In international law, a condominium refers to a political territory over which 2 or more sovereign powers jointly share sovereignty. In the case of Pheasant Island, France and Spain were those powers. According to the Treaty of the Pyrenees, the island would be under French sovereignty for 6 months of the year and Spanish sovereignty for the other 6. The island would switch nationalities back and forth like a bird migrating between 2 nests. This arrangement, as peculiar as it may seem, was actually quite practical. It allowed both nations to maintain their dignity and claim over the island without resorting to further conflict. It was a diplomatic solution to a potentially volatile situation. But how does this impact the island itself? Well, imagine living in a place that changes nationality twice a year. The laws, the language, even the customs could switch overnight. It's an intriguing thought, isn't it? As a result of this treaty, Pheasant Island became a microcosm of European diplomacy and international law. It was a physical embodiment of compromise and shared responsibility. A place where 2 nations could coexist in harmony, if only for half a year at a time. And so, Pheasant Island began its strange life of dual citizenship. Imagine waking up to find your nationality has changed overnight. Welcome to the present-day Pheasant Island, an island that dances to the rhythm of change. Nestled in the Bidasoa River, this island is a unique geopolitical anomaly, one that swings like a pendulum between two nations. Twice a year, control of the island changes hands, from France to Spain and then back again. Picture this, it's February 1st, the French flag is lowered and the Spanish flag is raised. The island for the next 6 months is under Spanish sovereignty. Then, on the 1st of August, the island reverts back to French control. This ritual has been ongoing for more than 350 years, a living testament to the Treaty of the Pyrenees. However, this biannual changing of the guard is not without its controversies. For instance, in the early 21st century, a group of Basque separatists briefly occupied the island, claiming it as their own. This act was a symbolic gesture, a statement of their desire for an independent Basque country. Furthermore, the island's unique status has sparked debates about its future. Some have suggested turning it into an open-air museum, a monument to its storied past. Others argue for its preservation as a nature reserve, a sanctuary for the local flora and fauna. But amidst these debates, the island's status quo remains. It continues to oscillate between two nations, a dance of sovereignty choreographed by centuries-old agreement. Despite the flux, one thing remains constant: the island's history. Each flag raised, each handover of control, is a reminder of the island's unique past. It's a past steeped in diplomatic negotiations, royal marriages, and shifting borders. Pheasant Island is a microcosm of change, a testament to the fluidity of borders and the enduring power of historical treaties. And though its future may be uncertain, its past is etched in stone, a tale of two nations bound by a shared piece of land. As the flags change, so does the island. But its unique history remains the same: Pheasant Island. A piece of land that's more than just a piece of land. It's a living testament to the fluctuating nature of borders and territories. Born from the whims of nature, this island's journey has been anything but ordinary. From its birth amid the tumultuous river Bidasoa to its central role in the Treaty of the Pyrenees, Pheasant Island has seen it all. It's an island in flux, a shifting piece of land that dances between French and Spanish ownership every 6 months. It challenges us to think, what is a border? Is it a line on a map, or is it something more fluid, more transient? It's not just about lines drawn by human hands, but about the dynamic interplay of history, politics, and culture. So, next time you think about borders and territories, remember Pheasant Island, the island that doesn't truly belong to anyone but is shared by everyone.